Hi, and good morning. Welcome to Sunday and another class here with Developing Your Intuition at Home. I'm Leanne Thomas, and it's such a huge honor for me to be here with you today and to share my knowledge and my experiences about developing your intuition at home. And so as we wait for people to come into the room live here on Facebook, just want to give a good reminder of the events that I have coming up. I still have like 2 seats, maybe 3. I didn't check this morning on my beginning intuition course for March. The February course for February 3rd and 4th is full. So I'm doing the class again on March 3rd and 4th. And it's Saturday and Sunday, 2 full days. And it will be developing your personal intuition, but it's an interactive course here in person in Santa Clara, so there is still time to get in on that class. I do have a group reading. This is, everyone in this group reading gets a message. That's January 21st. It's Sunday, January 21st, live and in person here in Santa Clara. And that's from 1 to 3, and you can sign up. If you go to the Make Appointment tab, either for the class or for the group reading, you go to the Make Appointment tab and then you can register there online for those events. So, and good morning to everyone coming in the room. So happy to see you, and good Sunday morning to all of you. So hopefully everything went well last week with the class. We talked about both clairsentience and claircognizance, and then you had your homework of going in and feeling into different people and situations. So hopefully you guys want to share how that went with your homework last week. So go ahead and post on there. If you are watching this video at any time down the road, today is December the 3rd of 2017. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, please, number 1, subscribe to my channel and then leave a comment on how it's going for you with developing your intuition. And of course, here today, put your questions in. The topic for today is going to be, we're going to talk about clairaudience, which is clear hearing, and we're going to use some cards. So I've brought in a bunch of different cards that I love using to help me get the guidance or the inspiration or the encouragement that I need. And so there's lots of different kinds of cards that people can use. I tend to prefer things like angel cards, but there are other kinds, and I have some other kinds here as well. Here's some examples of cards that you can get and use. All of these are ones that I do use at different times. So here's another deck by Colette Baron-Reid, and it's the map cards. And then, of course, these are her wisdom cards. And I have a few other decks by Colette Baron-Reid. And then Doreen Virtue has been, she's changing some things about the way she does things. And isn't that the beauty of life, that we go through and we transition from one phase in our life into another, and we can evolve and grow as people. And so I applaud her for growing and evolving, but she's moving away from her work with the angelic realm and doing some other things in her life. So good for her. And if you're getting started with cards, even they don't have to be angel cards, but my suggestion is going to get started there. And of course, if you haven't heard, I have developed my own deck of angel cards. There's 49 cards total in the deck that I have made, and I have an artist working on developing the pictures for each card. So I'm hoping those are going to be available to purchase by April of 2018. So we'll see how all of that goes. But when my cards come out, they're going to be very easy to use, very user-friendly, whether you're very experienced at using cards or it's something new for you. So I also have a Facebook page started for my cards, and they're just called Angelic Hope Cards. They are for guidance in different life areas. Like I said, 49 cards, and there's seven different themes. So there's 7 cards in each theme, and there'll be more information on that page. So you want to go and like my Angelic Hope Cards page on Facebook. And down the road, I'll even be giving messages. I'll be teaching a little bit more about the cards and how to use those specifically when they become more available. But if you're just starting out and you would like to get started with some cards right now, this is a great deck to get started with. It's Messages from Your Angels. It is by Doreen Virtue, and it's a good starter deck. It gets you going. And I love this deck. Magical Messages from the Fairies. That's a good starter deck. And this one probably is my favorite, the Archangel Oracle card deck. And this is an excellent deck also by Doreen Virtue to get started with if you've never used cards before. They're very user-friendly, and with all cards, including the ones I've developed, there's a booklet that comes with them. So that you don't really need to feel like you're a psychic or a medium or an angel intuitive to work with them yourself. The angels do want to work with any of us and all of us. I do have a show that I'll be live on the air on Coast to Coast AM radio with George Norrie. If you've never heard of George Norrie or Coast to Coast AM radio, then I do want you to Google it. Do a little bit of search on that. I'm very honored to be an angel specialist. I'm doing a show just before Christmas. It will be at midnight on Wednesday, December 20th is the date for that. And so I'm very excited to be the expert and to share a little bit about my cards coming up with George and discuss all things angels on that show. And so after I do that show, I am going to do a YouTube video on angels. So hopefully you guys are posting some things here in the chat room about your experiences with the homework last week. The homework coming up for this next week, starting today if you like, will be if you have cards, will be to pick one card every day and journal about that. You want to journal about it at the beginning of the day, and you want to journal about the card at the end of the day. And that is to give your thoughts and your feelings on the card that you pick and what you feel like that may mean for you that day, or your understanding of that card, and then how you can see how there was that influential factor for you at the end of the day. And if you don't have cards right now, you can always put this homework piece to the side. You can wait till you get a deck of cards and do some of that later, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be done right now, but if you do have questions or things that you want to know or ask, and you're going to be with me here next week at 10 a.m. Pacific, then you can ask your questions at that time and get them answered in a timely manner. And so I am going to have some fun and show you how to use the cards today a little bit. And there's no rules, in my opinion, about how to use cards. So I know your homework is to pick one card a day, reflect on it, journal about it, write at the end of the day how it influenced your day, or how you could see that there was an influential moment at the day with the card. But there's other ways that you can use the cards too. So I'm going to show that to you today because it helps to build up our intuition, and it helps us to begin to trust the process that we have. Not only with our spirit team, which if you followed the Afterlife series that I have and have watched that video, then you know that we've got loved ones that are around us, the angelic realm. We've got loved ones in spirit that are our ancestors, whether we knew them in this lifetime or not. And then we have beings, beautiful beings called guides. And they can also help with the cards or help influence which cards come up. But also your personal energy and what you're going through, and even if you ask a question of the cards, can be influenced here through the message that comes through the cards. I always say to be very open, and that's what your homework's going to be with this, is when you're pulling your card, not to ask any question. Don't ask about your career or your love life or your finances or a family situation I just want you to be open when you're using the cards to whatever comes up each day. So your homework will be just allowing whatever comes up each day. And with having said that and talking about cards, there's so many people out there that make up rules about how the cards must be used. And I'm a little bit of an anti-rule person, and I'm a big believer that you should make up the rules with any tool that you use yourself, or the overall way that you use the cards is up to you. So for instance, it doesn't bother me if someone else picks up the deck of cards that are mine and touches them or uses them. I don't have an issue with other people touching my cards, and I always believe that the people that are in my life and that are around who would want to pick up or touch my cards have beautiful, loving, amazing energy. So why would I mind if that's on my cards? Now, I do, if you believe that you don't want other people's energy on your cards, whether it's loving energy or not loving energy or whatever have you, that's fine too. That's a decision that's personal to you and that you need to decide upon and make up your own mind about. You can clear your cards. There's lots of different ways to clear cards. Some people like to sage them. Some people like to hold them in their hands or up to their heart and just give a prayer or an intention to clear the cards, that they're free and clear and will give correct and accurate messages. I always ask the cards or set the intention that all messages will be given clear and accurately. That's a way that you can do so. I believe in infusing intention or the power of intention into your cards to help them work for you for your highest, best interest. So it's just a fun way to get guidance and to be doing it for yourself and trusting and believing in the process for yourself. So cards help us build and trust our intuition. So other people can touch them if you want, don't have to touch them. The most important thing is to not put some kind of superstition or rules over things that don't work for you, that someone else has prescribed to you or told you. It's always, when I teach, it's about finding your own personal compass and your own intuition to live your life as balanced, as full as possible. And when the cards are a tool, it's a beautiful way. I also believe that you should shuffle the cards with whichever way feels right for you. My grandfather taught me how to shuffle cards when I was young, and he would divide the deck in half. And then he would merge the decks together in that fashion. There's a lot of people that use cards or professional tarot readers or things like that would cringe at the idea of using your cards that way, because they can damage the cards. It can be a little harder on the cards. And so a popular way of shuffling cards of whatever kind that you want is this way. But feel into what works for you. Once I shuffle, then I also just like to cut the cards and then pick what's on the top. So for me today, I just got Counselor. Kind of fits, doesn't it? Like, here I am teaching about using your intuition at home and ways that you can do it for yourself or at home. And the Counselor card comes up. And I love it because it is Archangel Azrael. Azrael is the angel of death, but not in that creepy kind of I'm coming to get you way. It's transformation. And any counselor should be offering ways that we move our life forward and transform. So I will take and honor that message for myself today. So if I was journaling about that, like what your homework is this week, I would write down Azrael, I know, is the angel of death. I know that counselor is something or a term that resonates with me as a person and what I do for other people in my daily life. It resonates with me that I'll probably be offering my counsel to others, whether it's a friendship situation or maybe even whether it's through work and the giving readings and messages. So wanted to say that. I also wanted to add that I'm pretty much booked all the way through January at this point. I think I have 3 appointments left for the whole month of January. December's been booked for a while, and January is almost booked, like 3 sessions left, and people are booking into February already, especially people that want Fridays or Mondays for appointments or things like that. So just a heads up for anyone that was thinking about doing that, getting pretty booked out that way. So you know what your homework is. Your homework is going to be using the cards that you have, pulling a card a day, and journaling about that card in the morning and in the evening, how it influenced your day. So for me in the evening, I'm going to see how much more counseling happened. It's Sunday. I typically think of it as my day off unless I'm doing a group reading or something, which I do on a lot of Sundays. So we'll just see if there's more influences just beyond me counseling or teaching or working everyone through here with this class this morning. So that's how you use the cards, and I'm open to any questions. What I want to reiterate again is that I don't want you to feel like there's any rules that you have to prescribe to. You've got a booklet that comes with each deck. You can use that. Now, here's a way that I use the cards when I do want to ask the cards a question. I'm asking actually my guides, my loved ones, the angelic realm. I'm asking them for guidance or support. I will usually use the cards and I will pull 5. Now, when I do that, I just put the cards to my heart and then I ask my question of the cards. And I'm going to let the my spirit team guide the way. So I'm going to ask, and this is something that you can also do. Like, I want to encourage all of you this week to do this a couple of times. Don't ask the same question every day. Give some time or space in between asking the same question, but maybe Monday you want to ask about your career, Tuesday you want to ask about your love life, Wednesday you want to ask about your finances. So, pick and choose which way you want to do that. So I always, because sometimes it's hard to generate a question in your mind, start with an area of life. So for me, I'm going to, for the sake of fun and for all of us being here together, going to let the guidance come forward about my career in any way that I may need to know. And I'm going to leave it as open as that. I'm not going to ask something more specific right here, right now. So I'm just going to be open. So I take my cards, I've held them to my heart. That's something that I like to do. And I set the intention that I want to know about my career, and I'm open to receive whatever my spirit team wants or needs me to know. Then I just take the cards and I just feel into how often or how many times that I want to shuffle for the sake of this. And I don't overthink it. I don't worry. I'm not concerned. Did I do it enough? I let go and I trust. Once I've shuffled and I feel good about it, I cut the cards. You don't have to cut them. So I cut them and then I pick. And I'm going to pick 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm getting a pretty strong message overall here that things relating to my spiritual work and spiritual development are standing out to the forefront. Particularly when I look at, I've got claircognizance here, which is what we talked about last week, and that video is up on YouTube now. I've got clairvoyance, which is up here, and we're going to talk about clairvoyance next week. Creative writing, which is interesting because I am writing and thoroughly getting everything put together for that soulmates course. So that is going to, I'll be making that video soon. I'm still trying to figure out the new camera that I have for YouTube. Chakra clearing makes a lot of sense. The first thing that I'm feeling when it comes to this is also the healing work that I do, which really is evolving. I'm not pulling away from doing reconnective healing because it's extremely powerful and palpable, but there are other things happening when I'm doing my healings. And then remembering who you are. And this when you do, and for me, career work, or I'm doing this kind of career, you get left, right, and center everybody's opinion on what it is that you're doing, and we have to remember who we are when we do any kind of spiritual work or we're pursuing our spirituality. And so I'm going to reflect a little more on this, but that's the point, is to take your cards, the messages that you get, and then to journal about it. All right. I want to talk, again, like I said, also about clairaudience, and that's clear hearing. Audience meaning hearing, but clair is a French word meaning clear, so clear hearing. And as we're developing our intuition, we can up the volume on our hearing of our guidance and in spiritual form. Now, it's my belief that clairaudience can come from other people even. I may be standing in line at the grocery store or Safeway, or be sitting at a restaurant somewhere and hear someone speaking about something, maybe a book they recently read, or a workshop that they're talking about that they just did or they're going to, or maybe even it's a health product or something that they're using to work on their health or their physical well-being. And I'm standing somewhere and I'm hearing this, and I get that message several times or more than once. I want to pay attention to it. I want to pay attention externally, what's being said around me by other people that may be in my life, or maybe just in my life through circumstances, like I said, standing in line somewhere, Safeway, Starbucks, at a restaurant, wherever you're at in the world, even at work, in the break room, or you just happen to overhear something. Spirit will put situations like that in your life that seem like coincidence but are not, to help you hear the messages that they're trying to get to you from other people. You might start reading books or be even watching, like everyone should see The Secret. I believe everyone should read the book The Power. If you're starting to delve into other spiritual things and things are coming up, one thing will lead into another. That is part of the clairaudience that will come through for you. Another way is for the guidance that we can get from our spirit team ourselves that we may be hearing in our mind. Or I sometimes call it the nagging voice in my head of my guides, and my grandmother for sure, that always wants to encourage me to push beyond whatever my fears are or whatever I think my limits are with something, or to encourage me to do something that specifically when I was opening up to spirit, I had a lot of concerns or fear about what people would think of me. And I wasn't wrong about being concerned about that, because even people in my own family had very strong opinions about me pursuing my spirituality. And then as more and more of it came into fruition and I did this work and more came about, they had more and more concerns about it. And so, but I needed to have that encouragement and that nagging voice in my head of, say, my grandmother and what I know now to be my guides. And of course, I've always known angels are around me. Their voices encouraging me, even though I had this fear. And you might be getting the encouragement to change something about your diet that you keep feeling over and over again, and you're resisting it, like your fear's getting in the way. It might be things like a habit that needs to be broken, whether it's breaking the habit of smoking or staying up till 2 a.m. Because you need more sleep, eating better, getting exercise, or letting people go from your life that aren't serving it, aren't lifting you up or encouraging you. And we'll have these nagging feelings or the voice in our head. And it's not a voice like we can hear it real loud, hello. It's more like we feel like we're hearing it. And that's your clairaudience. That is your personal intuition kicking up. It's part of that, what people sometimes think is their gut kicking in, but it's a little different than just the clairsentience that we talked about. And what you'll notice too is if you ask for that guidance and you're feeling it, you're hearing it, you feel like that nagging voice is in your head, you're someplace and you hear people talking about it, you turn the TV on and there's television shows about getting healthier, exercising, quitting smoking, letting go of angry people or harsh people in your life, you have to pay attention and listen. You have to start taking action towards it. And when you take those little steps or you take those actions, what you'll find out is that the process becomes easier than you thought it would, and then help and support shows up on your path. There may be a class that you all of a sudden hear about that you want to take. There might be a book that comes into your life. Someone hands you a book or talks about a book and you find it in the library or you purchase it on Amazon. It's trusting that what you're hearing and taking steps, even if they're small steps, because our spirit team knows that we have fears. They know we have struggles and issues as it relates to moving on or moving forward. So they'll put that clairaudience on your path so that you start to wake up and take a chance when otherwise that you wouldn't. And you also have the benefit of listening to this video, being here on Facebook Live with me or listening later on YouTube, that you're hearing that it's important to take a step towards listening. All right, if you want to challenge yourself with some homework with clairaudience, it would be about listening for threes. And if you're out and about in your life and you're hearing something in threes, the same book 3 times this week, somebody talks about, or you turn the TV on, or you're hearing a certain topic about healthy relationships or healthy eating or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be any kind of big change that you make in your life easier. It can be another kind of 3 that comes up for you. I want you to just notice and pay attention, and I'd love for you to share next week if it came to that, where you were hearing something in threes and listening to your clairaudience on that direction or that message. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's hard to do, like changing our diet or quitting smoking or exercising. Sometimes it's something like self-care, like get a massage or go get that manicure that you've been putting off and not treating yourself for. Maybe it's spending more time with friends, which when we think about it should be something easy for us to be able to do. So I'm going to ask again for questions and see if any of you have your questions. You've got your homework. If you missed it, I'm going to encourage you to listen back to the video when I'm done so you know what the homework will be. And then if you want to share anything that happened from last week, I'd love to hear it, or you've got questions. And I want to thank you. I want to remind you there's still time to jump in on the March class, March 3rd and 4th. And there is still time to join the group reading for January 21st. And you register for both of those things through my website, angelichope.com. You go to the Make Appointment page and you register right there. So easy. So easy to do. So if no one has questions, then I'm going to wish you a very happy Sunday into the season, into this holiday season that we're in. And remember that we've got a Mercury retrograde coming up, and we've just had a full moon. So that can throw a lot of us for a loop, but it doesn't have to you. If you're mindful and you're paying attention to your energy, you can get through all of those energetic shifts that are available to us with grace and dignity. And so I wish that for all of you. If you didn't see my post on Facebook about shooting stars, then take a look at that post and give me a little comment on that as well. Otherwise, much love and blessings to all of you. I'm honored and humbled that you're here and listening. If you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps me. It helps so many other people and me to reach people who might not otherwise have access to free spiritual information. All right, everyone, all my love, and have a blessed and wonderful week. Bye-bye for now.